Welcome, 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 kings and queens. Welcome to the Truth Now talk show on Hot 702.5 FM on your streaming dial. This is your girl, Patrice Moncel. Yes, yours truly. I'm flying solo again. My partner in crime is on hiatus as well again. So, yeah, you got your girl solo again. I want to welcome you guys. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. Everyone is having a great start to their weekend. I know for me, mine's is has been a little bit tedious. I want to tell you guys I got food poisoning. Oh my god. And if anyone has ever had food poisoning, you guys know it takes a couple of days for your system to like come back, to life. You feel weak, you feel dehydrated. So I've been drinking a lot of fluids, getting a lot of fluids back in me because all of it was coming out. And I ate something over the last couple of days that was really, really bad and just was not setting well with my digestive system. So I'm still recuperating from that. Feeling a lot better than I did yesterday and the day before. Those were like the two roughest days for me. But anywho, we're gonna jump right on into our subject I want to talk about. I kind of want to piggyback on my story from last week where I started off talking about the death of DMX. So I just found out right before I came on that rapper and writer Black Rob has passed away. If anyone knows Black Rob, his real name is Robert Ross. He was the age of 51, so he's around the same age as DMX, and I believe that they did know each other through those some of the latter parts of the Bad Boy entertainment, um, because Black Rob was signed. If I can talk, Black Rob was signed to Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records. I remember one of Black Rob's biggest records was that woo ha song, where he say something at the end and go woo ha, like that. And I remember that was like one of the probably top 100 Billboard songs that he did with on Bad Boy Entertainment. I remember the video, him jumping down off this big 18 wheeler that Puffy was driving, and he just, coming in rapping, doing his thing. But Black Rob was very instrumental in the era of Bad Boy Entertainment, because Black Rob was also a writer, so he wrote or co-wrote a lot of songs from up four other rappers as well as himself. Him and I remember Mark Curry, and I follow Mark Curry on Instagram. I always dig Mark Curry and what he uh, stood for, and I always liked him as a rapper. And I knew that him and Black Rob had co-wrote a lot of the rap for some of the other rappers at Bad Boy Entertainment. Um, when Black Rob got on social media in a hospital bed, giving condolences out to DMX's family and talking about X and things of that nature, that's when he went viral, because a lot of people didn't know that where Black Rob was, or even didn't even know that he was sick. Now, I also follow Big Gene on his podcast on YouTube, Big Gene Deal, and I suggest you guys go and follow him. Big Gene used to be a bodyguard for Puffy at Bad Boy Entertainment. He specifically guarded P Diddy, and Big Gene was on his social media. He literally choked up and in tears about Black Rob, and talking about how um allegedly, I should say this is all allegedly, so I'm saying a disclaimer now, that P Diddy knew that a lot of, P Diddy knew that Black Rob was sick, and he knew, and he waited until Black Rob went viral, all this, and all of a sudden now he wants to come forward, he wants to help um Black Rob with hospital bills and things of that nature. I think is a little bit too little too late now, because Black Rob has passed away at the age of 51. So I'm gonna read a little excerpts from off of Revolt, which is owned by P Diddy. After a rough week since the passing of former famed rapper DMX, the hip hop community is mourning the loss of another star. According to close friends such as Mario Winans, who posted about his passing on his Instagram page, Black Rob has sadly passed away. Last week, the video surfaced of Rob in a hospital bed that caught many fans off guard, considering that they hadn't heard or seen from Black Rob in quite some time. While there, he shared his condolences to X. He said, "I feel everything about X." He said in a clip, says DJ Self posted, "X was positive, X was love." In the days that came after, Rob would reveal that he was homeless and battling health issues, specifically kidney failure. And Black Rob had been dealing with this for 5 years, and Black Rob also have had 4 strokes. So he was in pretty bad shape and poor health. He said, "I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy." He said he don't have no home to go to. I don't know if he was homeless, but he said he didn't have a house to live in except maybe an apartment. And also, Diddy reached out, as I said, a little bit too late, too little, too late, to help Rob in any way he could. Uh, and so did former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry. Admitted, and Mark Curry, made a comment on his social media page saying something to Puff about, "We not going to say he's not Puffy. Is he really trying to help? Like, hint, hint. Is he really trying to help?" As a former recording artist on Bad Boy Records, Puff wanted to make sure that Rob was taken care of in the best way possible. This is coming from his own platform on Revolt, because he owns Revolt TV, and you guys know a lot of rappers go on Revolt and they do interviews. And so kidney disease, has had plays a big part of Black Rob's health and obviously him passing away. Kidney disease is the early stages of kidney disease is often little to no symptoms. So a lot of times people don't even know that they suffer with kidney disease or having kidney problems, because it's also a really silent disease, just like cancer can be. Good morning, Mike. How are you, King? And good afternoon, actually. And so the early stages, you barely have symptoms, but some, kidney disease happens when the kidneys cannot filter out properly the toxins out of the bloodstream, and it causes a backup and like infection and bad damage to the kidneys and things of that nature, and it's life threatening and can be deadly. So that's what Black Rob suffered from. I didn't know a lot about Black Rob. I only remember that particular rap song he had because, like I said, it made the top 100 on the billboards. He had some success with Bad Boy Entertainment. He had probably more success as a writer, as I'm sure probably Mark Curry did. Mark Curry, I follow him on Instagram. He is in Atlanta, and Mark Curry has did some interviews. Mark Curry has a book out. He's talking a lot about a lot of his experience in being a part of the Bad Boy Entertainment family. And there's something going around that's called like the Bad Boy curse, where a lot of these bad boy entertainers, rappers and singers, they are not in the best of financial situations. They not in the best of health situations, and a lot of them are speaking out, especially Big Gene Deal, who was there to see a lot as Puffy's personal bodyguard. And I've been trying to get Big Gene on this radio show. I'm waiting on him. Shout out to you, Big Gene. I'm waiting on you to come on and let me know what day you want to come on so I can interview you. But Big Gene was really, really, really hurt and hot today because he's been speaking a long time about how allegedly Puff Daddy has taken so much advantage of all those artists that was on Bad Boy Entertainment, not paying them fairly, ripping them off. And a lot of them are in a poor way, poor health, poor financial situations. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that is all Puff Daddy's fault. I'm not saying that. But if you have artists that have made you and helped make you millions and millions and millions of dollars, and now I think you are considered you at billionaire status or almost billionaire status, and then you have these artists that was on your label that had you had these work relationships with, and they wrote for you, and you know that you didn't play them fair by paying them fairly, and now that they are in poor health or financial situations, that he can sit by and just idly watch them, watch their demise or watch them, struggle. And I mean, there is one really cool guy that I follow on his podcast on YouTube too, that he worked for Bad Boy Entertainment. His name is Davin Lewis, and he's now homeless, living in a homeless shelter. He posts all the time. He's in a rat infested home homeless shelter or hotel where they put up for the homeless. He worked for Bad Boy Entertainment, I think, what, 14, 15, 16 years. He was with Bad Boy Entertainment in the marketing department. He reached out to Puff Daddy and just asked him to give him 10 grand to help him get on his feet. And Puff Daddy people have, Puff didn't respond back. His people were kind of trying to oust and talk bad about Davin and things of that nature. So shout out to you, Davin Lewis, too, because I followed him. I've listened to some of his stories and things he's told about the music industry and working for Bad Boy. He hasn't really said a lot really, really bad about Puff. And I believe that there's a reason why he don't like doing like interviews, like coming on the radios or going on anyone's podcast talking about his experience. But he does talk about how how he feel bad, and after working for Bad Boy Entertainment for so long, and Puff not reaching out to help him now that he's homeless. I mean, when Bad Boy Entertainment dissolved, and then the economy hit, and then the 9/11 in New York, all of them were there. It changed a lot of things. The only one really seemed to be very, 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 very wealthy is Puff Daddy. But I want to say rest in peace to Black Rob, and prayers and condolences to his family. And which leads me into the whole thing what he was talking about on his hospital bed about DMX and giving his condolences right before his passing. I went on last week and I said, and I read off of TMZ, which I don't know why I did that. I regret doing that, about DMX passing from a drug overdose that caused a heart attack that caused no oxygen to the brain for a half an hour, which his organs failed, and then DMX ended up passing. We all still mourning that, but I do want to say that I want to retract what I said about the cause of death, because until I hear from the coroner's office, the toxicology, what the family actually really say or tells the cause of death, I'm not going to speak on that anymore, because word on the street, and this is just all alleged and rumored. Word on the street is that DMX really did not die from a drug overdose, that he didn't even have drugs in his system. Now they're saying that he was about to go on tour and he took the vaccine, and he was waiting on the vaccine, because he was 50. He was waiting on the people 50 and over, that section of people where they could get the vaccine, because he was getting ready to tour. So he took the vaccine shot. And everybody knows that DMX suffers from underlying health conditions, like he is a asthmatic. He's a chronic asthmatic. He talked about that a lot in his interviews. But he took the shot so that he can go on. And now it's alleged that he died. The vaccine shot that he got possibly caused the heart attack that he had. And he went without oxygen, unconscious for a half an hour, which definitely causes brain damage. The brain damage was, like we all knew, it was very little to none, and then his organs shut down. So I'm going to retract what I said about the overdose and all of that, because until that remains to be seen, I don't want to shed that light on him not 100% knowing, because we all knew that he had his battles with drugs, as did Black Rob. So I'm not going to shed that even on Black Rob, because from what it's saying so far, from what I'm reading, that he passed due to the kidney failure. So I'm going to leave that at that. And moving forward, until I know something from a coroner's office, from a autopsy, toxicology, about a lot of our celebrities, especially a lot of our Black kings and queens celebrities, until we know for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. We know that we know that we know 100%. We've heard from the family, and they have said this caused his death. Then I'm not going to say that anymore. So I want to strike that, retract that. I'm going to say until we know for sure what was the cause of death of DMX. I'm not going to say he died from an overdose. So I think that we need to definitely be more careful about where we get our news from, where we hear things from, until we definitely hear from the family, or we definitely know specifically, because of autopsy and toxicology reports that says that this is how this person passed away. The same like we did, we speculated and speculated about Whitney. We speculated and speculated about Michael. We speculated and speculated, about Amy Winehouse, all those people. We speculated until that came, because they said when Amy Winehouse had passed, they said she had died of a drug overdose. Come to find out, when the toxicology and autopsy report came back, she had no drugs in her system. She actually died of alcohol poisoning. That's how she passed. She died, and they believe it was accidental, but they are saying it was alcohol poisoning. No drugs was in her system, and we all knew that Amy Winehouse battled with drug addiction. So, and alcohol is just as, if not more potent, because it's legal. Alcohol is legal, so we know that that is an old time addiction for a lot of celebrities and even some of our family and friends. So I wanted to clear that up and say that until if the family of DMX gives a conference or something, or make a official statement, or from through their attorney or whatever, I'm not going to say that anymore, that it was a drug overdose. I don't know that for 100%. I do know that they did say it was a heart attack. I do know that they did say that there was little to no brain function. I do know that the family did say the organs were shutting down. I never heard the family say it was a drug overdose. So, and I think we all need to be careful with saying stuff like that until we know for sure. So my apologies to my listeners, apologies to the family of DMX and his fans and friends and family all around, because I know he is so missed. So I got my t-shirt that I ordered. My DMX t-shirt is really, it's a DMX wording, that a phrase that I love, that from one of my favorite songs by him, "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind." And my t-shirt says, "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind," because I'm telling you, some days I feel like that. So I said, I'm gonna get this t-shirt in memory of DMX, and my one of my favorite rap songs by him, "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind, up in here, up in here." That is like one of my favorite quotes by him in his rap, that I definitely enjoyed listening to. So, on another note, with that said, I don't have any special guests today, but on another note, I am going to read and talk about something that just recently came across my social media feed. That's what something, an incident that happened right here in the great state of Arizona. Everybody know that I've relocated. I am now in Arizona. So a few days ago, a black couple was on Roland Martin, and they've been all on social media, all in the news and stuff. It is a black couple that owns a food truck here in Arizona, and they stored their food, like their meats and their foods and stuff for their truck. They stored it in this man's kitchen. I guess he had like big freezers and refrigerators and stuff, and they paid him every month rent. So they were doing business with this man, for a little bit there. And apparently, um this man, who is Caucasian, set up a meeting with them because he sent them some kind of notification he didn't want to do business with them, that they needed to come and meet so they can get their stuff or whatever. So the lady said that that she went, and her husband was still back at doing something, prepping with the food truck, and had the meeting, and she noticed that the guy was talking a little hostile. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this. So it says, black couple fears white man who pulled gun on them won't face charges. What's worse, the wife hesitated to call the cops because she even feared that the cops would shoot her husband instead. In Arizona, a black couple feared for their lives as a white man pulled a gun on them during a business meeting at the shared kitchen he owns. The couple was able to make it out alive, but not before the wife hesitated to call police in fear of them being shot, or her husband being shot. Her husband, instead of the white man who pulled the gun, Brittany Myers and Solomon Odubaja, are owners of a food truck called What You Cooking right here in Arizona. They rented a commercial kitchen space from Chef Shared Kitchen owner Tom Toot. That's his name. And I'm reading this from a platform called Scary Mommy. It's called Scary Mommy. Yeah. And they rented the commercial kitchen space from him. But after Tool gave them a 30-day termination letter stating that he wanted them to leave the kitchen. The couple scheduled a business meeting with him to discuss why he wanted them to leave. Not long after into the meeting, Toot became very enraged and very angry and upset with Myers, who initially attended the meeting alone. That's the female. I just couldn't understand, like, why was he so angry? She's saying he had an All Lives Matter shirt on, started yelling at me with his shirt and told me that I was racist, started telling me how our business was and that he should sue us, but he wouldn't get much, and he wouldn't get much, and how he didn't just didn't want us in his kitchen anymore. And I told him he was being very unprofessional, that he was making her feel uncomfortable. So I told him, let's go outside and let's have the meeting, because I felt she felt cornered. So she ended up calling her husband, and the husband came. They tried to sit down again to wrap the conversation up, but the guy, Mr. Toot, continually became rude and disrespectful, telling the couple basically, we don't want to do business with you guys and stuff like that. And then he took a deep breath and drew his pistol. Yes, he did. Did y'all hear what I said? He took a breath and drew his pistol. Okay, and the husband launched for him, and it's all on social media. You guys can look it up. The video is all caught on tape, because there's a videotape of the business inside, and where they were in the office having the meeting. And so the husband lunged for him and grabbed the hand, disarming and restraining him. So, the woman's husband was able to disarm and restrain him. Who knows what could have happened? I immediately braced myself and said, "Oh God, we are going to get shot." He said, I went with my instincts, Solomon added. He tried to squeeze the trigger. The man tried to squeeze the trigger through his shirt at my chest. I didn't come here to get killed. For what Solomon said, the longest 11 minutes. That's how long it took the police to get here. Hey, sis Antonita. They called 911, but the wife had to keep saying that we're the black couple and the guy is the one with the gun, that the other guy is the one with the gun. She had to profusely continue to say that on the 911 call. We are not the one with the weapon. We are the ones that the guy is trying to pull the weapon out and shoot us. Continuously, she had to say that on the 911 call. So, listen, guys, I want to talk about a particular scenario and a particular, how do I put it? Little innuendos and nuances. And and so far with this incident, I will say this: police came and they did apprehend the guy, but the guy is out on bail, and they said it's looking like he's gonna barely get a slap on the wrist, maybe get charged with some misdemeanor stuff and some what do you call it, community service stuff. Like, so let's just reverse that situation, right? Let's just reverse that situation, that if it was reversed, right? So we all know what probably the end result of that would have been. Possibly cost the lives of that couple, or at least probably the guy. But there is and I have to be very careful with my wording, because of all of the civil unrest that's going on in the world, because all of the systemic racism that's going on in the world, because all of because the pumpness and arrogance of a lot of Caucasian people, and not all. I'm not speaking of all, because I got some wonderful Caucasian people that are friends. I have biracial grandkids. I have white friends that I love, that I believe in my heart are not this way. But there is a sense of privilege. There is a sense of arrogance, a lot with a lot of Caucasian people, that um, they think that they are so deserving of passes when they do wrong, when they break the law, when they commit crimes. And for the most part, there is a lot of passes that they get. We all know that. And the thing about the whole BML, the Black Lives Matter, right? No one is saying that no other life don't matter, because we all know, yeah, all lives matter. But what we saying is that we don't matter to racist white supremacy, that we don't matter to systemic racism, that we don't matter to a specific group of people that think that they're superior, that they're a superior race, that they are superior to Black people, they're superior to Hispanics, they're superior to Asians, they're superior to Indians, they're superior to uh, Vietnamese, they are superior to China, to Japan, to people of all other races and nationalities. There is a sense of superiority that people of white supremacists have that is being called out. It's being called out in the world, it's being called out in the workplace, it's being called out just on an everyday basis. So we're going to see how, and I'm going to pay close attention to this case and see how it ends up getting spent on behalf of this Caucasian man that pulled this gun out on this Black couple. Simple business meeting. Okay, you don't want our business anymore. Let us take our stuff and let us go. But I feel like there was a purpose. I feel like that there was a purpose in him, intentional purpose. And again, the privilege, the audacity, the arrogance of him coming in there, with with a all lives matter t-shirt on. Like what point are you trying to prove? Because no one never said that all lives didn't matter. We're just trying to say that our lives do matter. Our lives matter to white supremacists. Our lives should matter to everyone, just like your life matters to me if you are someone of another race. So, and the thing about it is, it's so funny because I have been in my career for many, many years, and I see it all the time. I know what it looks like. I know what it sounds like. I know what it walks like. I know what it quacks like. And it said, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. Okay. And my plead to my white allies, uh, from family members to friends, is if you see this type of behavior, if you see this type of behavior, if you have family and friends that are saying things, doing things, and you sit by idle and you say nothing, you are complicit. You are just as guilty of the person that did it. And you say nothing. If there is no conversation to the people that you're around that's doing this, and you continue to accept that type of behavior, to continue to let your ears be subject to the poison, to let your mouth be subject to the venom that gets spit out, you are a part of the problem. Please know that you are a part of the problem, because if you cannot speak up for what's right, when are you going to speak up? What's it going to take? Does it have to literally affect you personally? Because this is something that is affecting us all in America. We are going through the Derek Chauvin trial. We just had a mass shooting again in Indianapolis. The FedEx uh, guy that shot and killed 8 people up in Indianapolis. We've had. Listen, I thought, we thought that 2020 was bad. We are in the second quarter of 2021, and I'll tell you, it hasn't gotten any better. We have the unarmed shooting of Dante Wright in Minnesota, and God knows Minnesota is not healed. The world is not healed from the death, the murder, the killing of George Floyd. That trial is underway as we speak. And then now this young man, 20, 21 years old, that had a leaving behind a baby, a family, that was unarmed because a 26-year veteran police officer claims to have mistook a stun gun from her gun, which was, I think, a 9mm Glock, which weighs what, a couple pounds, 2 or 3 pounds maybe loaded, and you got a stun gun that maybe weigh 8, 10 ounces. But you could confuse that. Now, it's my understanding that if you are right-handed, your gun is on your right hand side, which makes it easier for you to pull it if you need to. And the stun gun is on the weaker side, which will be your left. I'm right-handed, so if I was a police officer, my gun will be on my right hand, and the stun gun will be I'm sorry, left side, right side, and my stun gun will be on my left side. So now, if I'm saying stun gun, stun gun, stun gun, which is what she was doing in the video, why were you doing that? But you know that your stun gun is on your weaker side, but you take your right hand and you go for your right side and pull your 9mm gun and you shoot him while you're saying stun gun. Even when you pulling it and feeling it prior to, like, you don't feel the difference in the weight of that. I call it bullshit. Okay? I call it bullshit. I do. There's just no way in the world, a 26-year veteran could ever get that confused. I couldn't even get it confused, and I ain't on the law enforcement, but I do have sense enough to know that if I'm right-handed, my gun is on my right side, and on my weaker side, it's going to be the stun gun. I have sense enough to know the difference in the weight, the feel, the shape, how it feels in my hand, all of that. I know the difference. you know. So please miss me with the bull. BS. Miss me totally with that, because I don't buy that. I hope we're not buying it. I hope America doesn't buy it. She gets the opportunity to resign. So if she gets off, she can collect her pension, because she got 26 years in. She's locked and loaded for getting her retirement. So she goes before they fire her and she resigned. But she has been arrested. But I want to see accountability. I want to see, I hate to say justice, because we never get justice, because justice means when you take a life, justice is another life. To me, that's equal, a life for a life. That's not happening. We're not even getting the justice when it comes to the sentencing. We're not even getting the justice when it comes to a lot of these police officers going to jail. We're not even getting that kind of justice from way even before Rodney King. We're not even getting that kind of justice. So I want accountability. I want some accountability. I want because I think that they think that they can just hand us a big fat check. The police department and the city hand us a big fat check that the taxpayers and paid for, to pay the families, to say, okay, now you're going to have to sign this non-disclosure and never talk about it again. So just take this few millions of dollars we gonna give you and shut up and go on about your business. That should suffice the life of your loved one. Would you put a price on your family member? Would you put a price on your son or daughter? Would you? So please don't, the lawsuit, the settlement, the $27 million that George Floyd's family got, that's not going to bring George Floyd back. But they'll eventually dwindle away, because they all have to sign to not talk about it once they take that settlement money. And then they took the settlement money before the case is even over. That speaks volumes for me. We'll be lucky if Derek Chauvin even get manslaughter charges. I'm telling you, we'll be lucky. I believe they're gonna be lean. They lean towards they're leaning towards or trying to lean towards more of putting George Floyd on trial. Okay, and he's the one is not breathing anymore. But they're gonna put his drug addiction, his character, things he did in his past. They bringing all that up, but he's the one dead. He's the one dead by the hands of Derek Chauvin, or however you pronounce his name. So we need to think about these things, even as a people, is just that, accountability is what we need to see more of, instead of just giving us a check and to shut us up and let us go on about our way and live our life. That loved one is never coming back. And every time we do that, it takes a little more piece by piece of hope from our people of really getting what y'all want to call quote unquote justice. I want accountability because I'm tired of the protection that a lot of police officers are getting. They're getting it from their Bill of Rights. They're getting it from the unions. I think that these are things that need to be looked at as a people, especially African American people, because we're the ones dying the most at the hands of police officers. So, with that being said, like, I don't know, it's just you are seeing more racism and white supremacists rear its ugly head now more than ever, ever before. These last 2 years, but it's been going on for 400 years, you guys. Don't get it twisted, because the police department was created from the slave patrols 400 years ago. They called them slave patrols because they used them to capture runaway slaves, and and the police departments extended from that centuries ago, years ago, decades ago. So it's just another form of that. And some people that are on the force that still have it in their minds that their race is superior than all other races on this earth. And that's not true. That's not the case. That's not how God made it and created us all, because he created us all in his image. And that's all races. I think that the beauty of the different ethnicities and races is that we all are not the same color and we all don't look alike. Contrary to popular belief, what they say about black people, that they all look alike or we all look alike or whatever. That's not true. I think that if we all were the same color, it'd be pretty boring in this world. I love the multitudes of hints of beiges and browns and cocos and tans and reds and olives and yellows. It's color. It's color. It's color. You know? And I think it would be a pretty boring place if we all were one color. But racism is something that is taught. We're not born that. When nobody's born racist. You're taught to be that, and you were taught by your ancestors, and so on and so on. And it trickles down until it gets to the youngest person that you're still teaching that type of behavior in your families. Sad but true. You're still teaching your young people that are coming up to think that they are better than any other race on this earth. You're teaching the babies who look up to you, who admire you, who believe in you, who love you. So, of course, they are going to absorb what you teach in them, what you instill in them. It gets here and it gets here. And racism is something that is instilled and taught in the fabric of this country, in the fabric of America. And I hate it, and I wish that all these white supremacists and just even our allies, our friends and family members that are Caucasian, please know that it's not the job of Black people to teach you how not to be racist anymore. It's not our job to do that. It is your job to learn, to teach yourself, to do the research on it. We're not saying don't ask us questions or anything like that. We're saying do the work, because you are the ones that started it. Your ancestors started it. Do the work. You all see the injustices that are going on. You all are seeing the treatments that some of our Black sisters and brothers are getting, are what we going through. And when you sit by idle mind and say nothing, you are complicit and a part of the problem. Please know that. I cannot stress that enough. I worry every day because I have biracial grandchildren. And I've talked about this before, because there's two sides to that coin. And thank God that I know that my grandchildren's parents are instilling in them about racism and about how society is going to look at them, because their skin is more brown than it is Caucasian. So they're going to be considered Black, but they still going to go through racism. And that scares me. That scares me to death. They're going to go through colorism. They're going to go through biases and prejudice on both sides, because some Black people are going to think they're not Black enough, and then some of their white counterparts are going to think they're not white enough. But they're going to be Black. The one drop rule: when your skin is a little bit darker than it is lighter, you're considered Black. They're going to experience the racism. They're going to experience it. I know they are, and it scares me to death. So just know that, Black people have been some of the most forgiving, kind, loving hearted people. For the crap that we have been through, we have been the most forgiving race of people. For us to have endured the most oppression that there is out of every race on this earth. And we have such forgiving hearts. And we believe that people can change. I do. I believe that. I 100% wholeheartedly believe people can change, and I like to give people a second chance. But pattern, behavior, actions, things that you say and do is what I need to see. Because now I'm knowing you doing the work. When you can do your research, when you can have the uncomfortable conversations that you guys seem to want to avoid all the time. A lot. Hell, I have dated interracially, and I have had to have the conversations with my guy at the time that I was dating. You have to have these conversations. And as uncomfortable as they may be for you, think about, for over 400 years, how uncomfortable we were made to feel. And I say that with love, because I know that there are a lot of good people out there that are white, that hearts is pure and they mean well, and they genuinely are not racist. They wasn't raised that way. They wasn't taught that way. I have friends. I have family members that are married to Caucasian people. I've dated Caucasian. We know, we are talking about the few that are races that are, uh, you know, accepting and tolerant of white supremacy. So for the ones that sit silently and say nothing, but you want to claim you got black friends, you cool with your black friends, do you really have black friends outside of seeing them, in the outside world? Do you invite them to your home? Do you have dinner with them? Have you ever broke bread with them? Have you ever came to a party or something they've given or some kind of event for their children? Do you really have? Do you really have black friends? Or you say, yeah, I got lots of black friends. See, because a lot of white people like to say that a lot, but they mean, yeah, the ones I see in passing or the ones I work with, the ones I'm friendly with. Do you really have friends that you have special relationships with that are of African American descent? And right now, I'm only speaking for my race because I'm not speaking for any other race, even though it includes every other race. Because white supremacy think they're better than all other races, not just black people, but they specifically are extremely racist against black people. And that has been for over 400 years. There's a sense of I'm better than you. There's a sense of I should get the job because I'm Caucasian, or because and the black person may be have more education, more job experience, and all. We've had to endure that in the workplace. We've had to endure that in the world. We've had to endure that in the school system. We've had to endure that in the banking and finance system. We have had to endure that in housing. We have had to endure that in healthcare. The difference in the treatment. And I just beg of my white counterparts, my white allies, to just start paying closer attention in the difference in how some white supremacists treat you as opposed to how they treat me. There is a documentary on YouTube and it's called Whitewash. I would recommend that everyone go and see that. Watch that documentary. It's called Whitewash because it's actually white people talking about how they know and realize their white privileges, and they see the difference between being treated differently and than their black counterparts. I'm talking from anything from getting stopped by the police for a ticket. The difference in the treatment is called Whitewash. Go on YouTube and watch it. Very, very good. Very, very educational. And that can be the beginning, my white allies. That could be the beginning of your research and education. But it is not our job. It is not, I repeat, it is not our job to teach you and try to change you from being racist. If you really, truly in your heart want to change and be a better person, a better human being, you do your own research, do your own work. Okay? That's for real. We don't mind you asking questions, like I said. If it's something you don't know or want to know about our culture, about our religion, or about our upbringings, or because everybody got different ways that they were brought up, and we see the differences as a culture, as different cultures, different backgrounds. But guess what? If you cut me and I cut you, I'm black and you white. That blood gonna be red. It's all gonna be the same at the end of the day. So please know that. I just ask you guys to Just food for thought. Food for thought. Okay? Because we know that you all have been standing up, been saying things, and we appreciate that, but it needs to be more. It needs to be more. And we need more of our white allies speaking up about the injustices that you see, that you know is not right. We need you guys to speak up more. God knows we do, because we didn't start this fight. We didn't start this fire. And we need you guys to help us put it out. Okay? So, in closing, I am going to say I appreciate each and every one of you listeners for tuning in. Thank you guys. And please tune in next Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Truth Now talk show on Hot 702.5 FM on your streaming dial. This is yours truly, Patrice Munsell, and I'm out. Bye.